Hi there, I'm Naomi, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker with a passion for helping couples build strong and resilient relationships. Couples come to therapy for all different reasons, but there's one thing that nearly every couple struggles with, and that is because it derives from a struggle inside of ourselves. Each and every one of us have two core desires amongst many other desires. But two of these core desires are, on the one hand, to be individuals, to have our own separate self and identity. And on the other hand, we have a desire to attach and to be close. These are two beautiful desires, and they fuel a healthy, strong relationship when they're balanced. And that is what differentiation-based couples therapy helps to produce: a balanced relationship. I'm going to talk to you about what a relationship looks like when it's not balanced. You may recognize some of the features of this kind of relationship inside of yourself. And if you do, not to worry, because differentiation-based couples therapy will give you the tools that you need to help balance the I and the we in a relationship. Let's start with a relationship that's enmeshed or engulfed. In these kinds of relationships, couples are psychologically intertwined. What this means is that as opposed to seeing each other for themselves and who they are, the couple tends to project their own ideas of their partner onto the other. Couples who are enmeshed tend to have what therapists call a reflective sense of self, as opposed to a solid and flexible sense of self. What this means is that instead of deriving one's own sense of who they are from themselves internally, their own internal compass, they'll look to their partner to get acknowledgement and validation and to know who they are. That's a really unstable sense of self. Because as we know, all of us go through ups and downs, and sometimes we get upset at our partners. In those situations, if a couple sees themselves based on the way that their partner sees them all the time, then they're going to take it really personally and feel really, really bad about themselves every time their partner is having a fleeting feeling or thought about them. What differentiated couples have is a solid yet flexible sense of self. What this means is that each individual has their own identity. They know who they are, and they look internally to know what are their values, beliefs, and opinions. Yet, if their partner comes and says, "Hey, I'm upset about this," or "You did that," they're able to have a flexible self and say, "Oh, you know what? That's true. I was in the wrong." And they're able to hold on to their own identity and also take feedback from their partner at the same time. Couples who are emotionally enmeshed also tend to make a lot of assumptions about their partners. They think that they know each other so well that they kind of get in their heads and make assumptions about how they would react to things or what they think about things, as opposed to having good communication and checking in with them. What this does is it really stifles your partner's room for growth, right? Because if you're assuming that the way that they are now is the same as the last time that you checked in with them, you're really not allowing room for growth. Couples who are emotionally enmeshed tend to be really dependent on each other. They have a hard time making decisions that are for themselves by themselves. Couples who are emotionally enmeshed also tend to have a really difficult time regulating their own emotions. They tend to lean on their partner in order to manage their own anxiety or to feel better inside of themselves. Now, I don't want you to confuse emotionally enmeshed relationships with relationships that are overly attached or overly close, because this is actually the opposite of what a close and connected and an attached relationship looks like, right? An attached relationship is when you have two individuals who are seeing each other as they are, And you're able to connect to them as who they are without the assumptions, without the mind reading. On the other side of the spectrum, we see couples that are emotionally isolated. In these kinds of relationships, sometimes on the surface, it looks like the individuals are very independent. They may have activities that they enjoy doing on their own, they're separate friends, but actually, these relationships feel very lonely and isolating. Couples from these kinds of relationships tend to describe, we're living together, but it feels like we're living parallel lives. We don't even know each other anymore. Relationships that are on this side of the separateness continuum also tend to have a lot of the elements of an enmeshed relationship where there's mind reading and also a reflected sense of self. And there's a lot of anger and criticism and tactics that couples use to kind of keep the other at a distance. Neither of these ends of this extreme leave couples feeling very attached or emotionally secure. Now I'm going to talk to you about what a differentiated couple looks like. A differentiated couple is a couple that's able to stay connected to each other without losing themselves. What this looks like is individuals who are able to hold on to themselves or stay true to their own beliefs, opinions, and perspectives, even when their partner sees things differently. These couples are also able to tolerate each other's differences. They know it's okay to have different values, beliefs, opinions about things. These couples know how to manage their own anxiety as opposed to relying on their partner to do it for them. And these couples also are able to have a solid yet flexible sense of self, which means that they're able to take feedback from their partner without allowing that to form their identity of who they are. Differentiated relationships feel really satisfying because the relationships where people feel like they can bring their entire selves to their partners and be loved for who they are actually, as opposed to how their partner projects them to be or how their partner wants them to be. Now, this sounds really beautiful, but we all know that it's not as easy as it sounds. Differentiation-based couples therapy gives partners the skills and tools to learn how to communicate effectively, to learn how to validate ourselves, self-validation, so that we're not constantly looking to our partners for a sense of approval or to know that we're okay. It gives couples the ability to set healthy boundaries, and also how to manage our own anxiety or stay calm in the midst of conflict. Differentiation-based couples therapy helps couples learn to stay engaged even when things get tricky. As a couples therapist, I help my clients hone in on where their growth edge is. Where is the relationship becoming too emotionally enmeshed or engulfed? And where is the relationship becoming too isolated? I want to remind you that differentiation is not a destination, it's actually a journey. It's a process of self-confrontation that one comes back to again and again. It's a process that can be difficult at times, but it's incredibly rewarding because you're not only getting to know your partner better, but you're getting to know yourself and then being able to open up to your partner about who you are and stay connected to yourself and to your partner at the same time. Well, thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you next time.